What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to Germanic languages comparison. Now, the reason why this is such an interesting video for me is because before I even found this video, I didn't know what Germanic languages were or how many languages are Germanic. English, Dutch, Swedish, Danish, Icelandic, Norwegian. There's like a ton of different languages that all share the same linguistic roots, and that is this like northern European civilization and tribes that occupied regions that are now like Germany. And that's why a lot of these languages sound so similar, and I had never quite realized that, because when I visited Netherlands, I'm not going to say that Dutch sounds German, but you can't disagree that there are some similarities, especially if you're hearing that for the first time as just an English speaker. And the same thing goes for English. Now, there obviously are very different languages, but I just find that interesting because, yes, we all did come from one common ancestor, and the way we speak has to be derived from the same thing as well. So this should be a really interesting video, guys. I'm excited to get into this. Here we go.
Also, there has been a surge in use among British preschoolers of computers and smart devices, with under 5 spending on average almost 3 hours a day watching video content. So we're asking, is this a good trend or not? To what extent should we discourage the use of these devices for under 5s? Get in touch. Use the hashtag BBC.
Auf der Sicherheitskonferenz
I know we're just listening to the language, but this clip that they showed us of basically the end of the world, how everyone is just on technology to our detriment, is just so funny. The fact that that was the clip they chose to include for the example of English is hilarious to me.
Auf der Sicherheitskonferenz in München haben die USA und Russland im Syrien-Konflikt weiter auf ihren unterschiedlichen Positionen beharrt. In der Fußball-Bundesliga hat der Hamburger SV am Abend gegen Eintracht Frankfurt mit 0:2 verloren. Damit untermauerte Aufsteiger Frankfurt seinen 4. Tabellenplatz. Die Tagesschau meldet zich wieder gegen 4:55 Uhr. Ik wens Ihnen een goede nacht.
Tientallen keren per jaar door fouten bij het CBR dat de examens afneemt.
Dan blijkt het onderzoek van onze researchredactie. Mensen die zo hun rijbewijs krijgen, mogen dus gewoon de weg op, terwijl ze daar nog helemaal niet klaar voor zijn.
Why does Dutch sound so like bouncy and jumpy, you know? I never had thought that German would sound similar to English until there were 2 clips back to back. Wow, I could draw a lot of similarities between those. Because they sound like sonically they're so different, you know. Everyone describes German as so harsh and all of that, but I'm starting to see that language through a much different light, because it is such a beautiful language, and it's sad that people have kind of demonized it because of history, but still, like, what are they doing? Dutch, though, I can't quite wrap my finger around it. It's so...
Mensen die zo hun rijbewijs krijgen, mogen dus gewoon de weg op, terwijl ze daar nog helemaal niet klaar voor zijn. Dat het vaak gebeurt, weten we zeker. Maar mogelijk is het probleem nog veel groter. Een paar jaar geleden betekende het vrijwel zeker een doodvonnis. Maar voor 2 groepen patiënten met kanker in de endeldarm zijn de overlevingskansen in 20 jaar tijd drastisch gestegen. Een behandeling waarbij patiënten tijdens de operatie worden bestraald blijkt bijzonder effectief.
Ett ryskt passagerarplan med 71 personer ombord störtade idag strax utanför Moskva. Samtliga ombord omkom, och ryska myndigheter ska nu utreda vad som förorsakade kraschen. På tisdag inleds rättegången mot den terrormisstänkte Rahmat Akilov. Men före dådet på Drottninggatan har Sverige varit relativt förskonat från allvarliga terrorattentat. Däremot har Sverige sedan flera decennier tillbaka varit en rekryteringsbas för terrorister.
That might be one of the first times that I've heard Swedish and have known that it was Swedish. Because, wow, that sounds so foreign to me. Again, similar to German and Dutch. You can hear the similarities, but there's just... You can see, I guess, the regional differences, because I guess that's the whole point, is these languages all have the similar roots or ancestors who were speaking a common language, I guess, and they have kind of branched off. But it's just beautiful to see how similar, like, no matter what someone is saying, you're still a human at the end of the day, and you're speaking a language that came from the same language that all these other languages came from. So all languages are really like the same in certain ways, but interesting. Swedish is sounds just crazy to me.
En rekryteringsbas för terrorister.
Boere en plaaswerkers in die Wes-Kaap verskil steeds oor 'n moontlike nuwe minimumloon. Die werkers hou voet by stuk dat hulle R150 per dag wil hê, maar boere sê dit sal 'n groot finansiële las wees en kan tot werkverliese lei. Openbare sittings word tans oor die kwessie gehou. Werkers by Harmony Gold se Kusa Saleto myn op die Wesrand sê hulle vrees nog.
Yeah, I had to just look this up real quick because I've never even heard what Afrikaans is. So it says it's a West Germanic language spoken in South Africa, Namibia, and other countries. Really interesting. Of course, so many European languages are spoken in Africa. Yeah, I'm sure it's from colonization, but
gehou. Werkers by Harmony Gold se Kusa Saleto myn op die Wesrand sê hulle vrees nog geweld.
It kind of sounds like if German and Dutch were combined into one language or sound.
Forsvarskommandoen omstruktureres, og flere opgaver lægges ind under ministeriet. Dermed er der også en ny magtbalance mellem ministeren og forsvarschefen, men aftalen kritiseres for at hakke Forsvarskommandoen i småstykker med uklar magtfordeling til følge. Forsvarsminister Nikolaj Wammen er i studiet. Men spørgsmålet er så, om det er homofobisk at kritisere den beslutning. Morten Kabel og Rasmus Jarlov er i Deadline i aften.
Vi kommer vel og vel mødt til Dagsrevyen. Ja, situasjonen i Oslo er veldig uoversiktlig for politiet, og politiet ber folk holde seg unna sentrum og unngå store folkemasser.
Men like etter det som skjedde i Oslo sentrum ved regjeringskvartalet kom det meldinger om skyting på AUFs leir på Utøya i Buskerud. Dette er altså AUF sin sommerleir. Reporter Astrid Randel.
Wow. For Danish and like Norwegian, I don't even know what to say.
Unna sentrum og unngå store folkemasser.
Men like etter det som skjedde i
It's like my first time hearing these languages.
Buskerud.
It is a shame that a lot of these Norwegian countries get grouped together, because I know like the biggest insult to someone from Sweden or to someone from Finland is just calling a Finnish person Swedish or a Swedish person Finnish, because the last thing they want is to be grouped together. But that's what a lot of Americans would do. I'm telling you that right now. It's messed up, but that's just what people do. They're gonna just say, "Oh, you guys all are the same." But yeah, Danish sounds a lot more harsh than Norwegian, in my opinion. A lot more harsh. There are some huge differences, and the reason why I'm bringing that up, guys, is because I actually met someone from Finland when I was visiting Germany. I was in Berlin a couple summers ago, and I jokingly made that. It wasn't a mistake. I jokingly called him Swedish. And that started like an hour conversation. I'm not kidding, about Finland and Sweden. And then he started talking about U.S. history, and then I got a little tired of that. But I'm speaking from experience, guys. I'm not just saying that. He says it happens. He said Americans piss him off for that reason, because they don't show any like respect or care. But I mean, that's just us, I guess.
Der Vorsitzender von der Palästininer Autonomie Mahmoud Abbas haben abgerät abzuhalten seiner kommendike Begegnischen dem nächsten Chodesh in dem Meirefberg von Yarden. Abbas hat zugestimmt, mitzuarbeiten, kedai abzustellen dem Reinschmuggeln Waffen von Mitzrayim kein Azapass. Der Palästiner Vorsitzender hat vorgestellt vor Olmert einen Detailplan von Anderwicklung die Palästiner Sicherheitskeuches Lengois der Philadelphia durch.
RTL de Journal mat hautesinn Haupttiteln. Genowen am Journal mat engem Faser fastchte Parteipräsidente vun DP an CSV. Am mat Moment der Hechiergunget do bei diesem Faser fastchter Familienminister Corinne Kahn an ihrem Viergänger Mark Spautz de Mëttech bei se Kollegien Radio. In hab Thema wär Reform vum Kannergeld, den entsprechende Projekt soll nach 400 Vakanz an der Chamber gestimmt gin.
I'm so confused by this language right here, guys. This might be like, this sounds so good though. I love the way that Luxembourgish sounds. And Luxembourg is a country that I'm very interested in because isn't it, I don't even know how it came about. I know that it's a smaller country, I believe, but it's like between Germany, Belgium, and I forgot the reason that we reacted to a video that talked about it, but I definitely want to like learn more about that place because it's very interesting. But like, what is their language? Sounds so crazy. It's kind of like a slowed down German, almost. I don't know.
Ein entsprechende Projekt soll nach 400 Vakanz an der Chambre gestimmt gehen, aber nicht von der CSV, wie der Markt.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Icelandic. It's just cool because again, guys, these languages are from places that aren't even like necessarily that close together. Iceland is out of the way. Listen, I flew through Reykjavik. I'd never be able to pronounce that name. And just flying over the barren and desolate Iceland lands. It is a beautiful country though, and I know that there's like that road that wraps around the country, and you can kind of stop and see all of these like beautiful places. I've seen some pictures and videos and like actual travel vlogs from Iceland, and it is a gorgeous country, but not very well known at all.
Sem stjórnaði aðgerðum í Sveinskili segir björgunina þá erfiðustu sem hann hafi tekið þátt í. Hjartaáfall björgunarmanns leiddi til þess að leitinni var haldið áfram og lík franska ferðamannsins fannst. Evrópskir ráðamenn kalla nýskipaðan utanríkisráðherra Bretlands lygara sem hegði sér óskaplega. Gott kvöld. Björgunarsveitir fundu í gærkvöldi lík fransks ferðamanns sem leitað hafði verið að í Sveinskili í
framvegis í vinnu og í Vestur-Sahara her til veitingarskip fyrir et norskt-hollenskt félag. Ta skipið í dag leið at bryggju í Las Palmas stóðu mótmælisfólk av bryggjunni. Marokko hersetti Vestur-Sahara fyrir 33 árum síðan og í einu nýggjar frágreiðing og yfir almannakunngjørt leigardaginn vísir Amnesty International enn eina fyrir á ekvislíu brotini og mannarættindi og í fara fram og í öskjunum.
Okay. Wow. Icelandic sounds, I always thought it sounded a bit, I don't want to say monotonous, but it's very devoid of variation and changes in the way it sounds. I don't know, maybe that's just like the tone or the way that this host is speaking, but I feel like I noticed that in the language, especially, you know, when they're giving like the captain's messages when I'm flying, because I've taken multiple planes through Iceland. I hear that language, and you know, this is just so cool because I've heard a lot of these languages. Some of them I haven't heard of. I have to look this up. Faroese, I don't even know like what that is. I've seen this slash through the O. That's a Norwegian language, I'm pretty sure, but I just don't know. You know, this is stuff I've never come across before, and I'm sure that I butchered like Luxembourg talking about the geography and stuff like that. Like, guys, just remember, I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, I'm really learning this for the first time. But what I was saying is it's cool because I've heard a lot of these languages before and never fully understood how they were connected or what the similarities and differences were. Obviously, we just watched a few clips of people speaking each one of these languages. There's still a lot to look at within the language. But I wonder, like, if you learn one of these Germanic languages or multiple, I wonder how many cognates there are and how easy it is to learn others. For example, if I were to learn German or Swedish, would I be able to learn, you know, Danish and Norwegian, Luxembourgish with ease as a result of learning one of those languages, or are they significantly different? And I mean, obviously learning one language will always help you learn other languages. I just want to know how similar some of these languages really are. So for the people that speak multiple Germanic languages, let me know. What do you think the similarities and differences are? You know, I've always thought it would be amazing if we could have one unified language in this world, because everyone would be able to communicate. And you know, if you're not able to speak someone's language, you're never going to be able to fully connect with them on that next level, because speaking a language just allows you to embrace the culture. And there's a reason, I guess, to my point earlier about us having one unified language, there is a reason why we do have all these different languages, because, well, places in the world are significantly different, and one language in one region it won't do a great job at communicating and describing the world around you in another place. So pretty interesting stuff. Really enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want to see Slavic languages comparison next. I think that would be a great watch. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.